I just realized I did not delete something off of this that needs to be deleted. It's this whole get the first half up at 240 stuff. Like, that is not applicable to this. I mean, you could do like a bar at a time or 2 bars at a time. So I'm going to delete that. So that being said, if you find yourself having trouble getting this thing up to speed, you could focus on starting with just 2 bars, or you could start with the last 2 bars, your call, and then just add a bar at a time. So that's one way you can work this thing up. Start with 2 bars if need be, get the 2 bars up to speed, then add a bar, add a bar, add a bar. Alright, so on the count of 3, 60 beats per minute. 1, 2, 3. Chord stuff. So yes, everything looks good on what you sent over. So the next thing we have planned for that is just like the old triad chords. You're going to do progressions with them. So got the first 2 progressions done. So as far as like how this should be played, basically stick with this progression that's on the screen until you can play it 100% correct. So we got sus2s, sus4s, triad, scale. So you can do it with or without the metronome, whatever makes it easier for you. The main thing is just play this whole thing correctly. So we'll go ahead and play it at 60 just for a demonstration. So you want to go for something like this. 1, 2, 3. Apparently I don't have my volume on. 1, 2, 3. So that's what you're shooting for there. The second progression is also done. So once you can play the first progression plus that little scale all the way through, no mistakes, then you start working on the second one. And it's up to you to start writing them out. Now, the string you begin on is marked at the end of this. This way I can put the text box above that rest symbol and not get in the way of any of the other text boxes that need to be used. So, yes, D string, that's where you're going to start this one. So just like the 2 progressions that are already written out, you're going to follow the same idea. The first line of the new progression, all suspended seconds. So all the stuff you just recently finished writing out, those are the shapes you're going to use. After that, suspended 4s. Then the triad chord. Then the scale. So, just like the triad chord thing we've done and the arpeggio stuff, you're going to go from one to the next in the shortest distance possible. So, just kind of seeing here, we got the A root note there, and then we went up one string, same fret to the D notes, up a whole step to the E note, back to where we just were for the D note. And wherever you go for this, in terms of where your root notes are, that's what you're going to do for the sus4 part. So each root note is in the same spot as up here. And then for the triad chord, same thing. So this began 12th fret on the A string, so the next line would need to be the same. And then the same goes for the triad chord and for the scale. So with this progression that you're going to start writing out, you're going to go from one chord to the next, the shortest distance possible. So when you start this note here on the D string, that means this needs to be in the same spot, this needs to be in the same spot, and that needs to start in the same spot as well. The next progression, again, the string you start on is marked at the end of the progression. So starting on the G string for this next one, so the note you put in here, the root note there, that's going to be the same spot for this, same spot for this, same spot for this. And then the low E string begins the next one. The A string begins this one. Whoops, there we go. And then the D string begins this one. And then the final one, you start it on the G string. So, if there's any confusion with that, at least stick with getting through the two progressions that are already made. And then I can start walking you through how to write out the progressions that you're going to do next time. But hopefully that made sense to help you get started there. And yeah, any questions, let me know. I will see you next week.